Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
Welcome to Dig on America, where we speak truth to power. Every week we give you the dig on how American history, policies, and media created the social and political issues we face today. DOA is independent media supported by listeners, but they'll tell you we're just fake news, deep state propaganda, funded by George Soros, the Clinton Foundation, BLM Marxists, and...
We are having a special tribal
baby powder.
meeting.
That's what it's sponsored by. Baby powder.
Sponsored by the episode of the Chappelle Show with the 5 fingers say to the face.
Say to the face.
Smack.
Unity.
We interrupt your normal viewing pleasure. This is a special tribal council meeting.
Tribal council meeting.
I am Brother Mark.
We the black delegation. We the black delegation called a special meeting.
That's right. We had to have a Wakandan council.
The Wakandan council will now come to order.
There will be no
challenge. Tattoos.
Right.
Verify the deal. You know, we all
there will be no challenge today.
River Tribe didn't want no smoke. My man with the left plate was like, I'm good. I see
Hey man, all right, okay, all right.
I'm good.
Okay.
So, hello everyone. We're all here for one reason only.
That's right. To talk
Will Smith
about
won an Oscar.
Big Willie style.
Will Smith
Yeah,
won
man,
an
he won an Oscar
yeah.
for what? What did he win an Oscar for again?
Nobody
smacking
knows.
Chris
Nobody
Rock in
knows.
the face.
I don't know why it's his job.
He's got a new sponsorship deal with Shea Moisture lotion.
Nah, he's got a new sponsorship deal with Showtime Boxing. That's what he got.
Right.
Because everybody act like that smack wasn't nothing. He had his left hand up on guard ready. He had a right
Rogan.
cross.
That was
he
a
hit
Joe
him with a
Rogan.
right hook.
Joe Rogan's reaching out to him right now.
Yeah, he hit him with a right hook. He had his left hand up the guard. It was right there.
Yeah,
he was ready. He was ready.
You know, I was like, damn, is this the Oscars or the Source Awards? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I was like, damn.
It don't matter.
Will Smith out there looking like eat dirt.
I'm through with black people trying to be all civil and pointing in the front of the white folks and trying to shuck and jive. No, if it comes down to slapping a nigga in the face, it comes down to slapping a nigga in the face. I'm okay with that. Let's talk about it.
You know,
How's you're on the other side.
I'm on the other side of that. Here's my thing.
Go for it.
I'm leaning this way right now. I'm over on this side right now.
This mug over here, he was out here like this. Then he looked, and Jada was like, and then
is that what happened? You were there.
Then
right?
the indignation rose. So I'm like this. You know, if
Mikey load the clip while he's doing that. Load the clip.
On it.
If he is taking umbrage immediately, then I'm more inclined to support him. But he was cheese and grits, smiling, and then
I'm gonna
cut to Jada, and Jada was like, you know, and then I'm not even. We got to talk about the history of Jada denigrating and embarrassing this man over and over and over again, and he got to fight for her.
Yeah, we can talk about that, but that's not what we're talking about right here. What we're talking about is you don't agree. You feel like he was out of line for slapping Chris Rock in the face.
I feel he could have smacked the hell out of him backstage.
You got the clip. Mike, you got the clip.
I'm trying to find one that's not by a major site with their stamps and everything all over it. Gotta get that.
Okay, all right. Copy.
Yar.
While he's finding the clip,
Holla at me.
Here is my take. First and foremost, it didn't take that long. The camera panned to Will laughed. The can then looked to Jada. Jada looked disgusted, which it then panned back to Chris Rock. Chris Rock, you could tell he had to look like oh, come on, it wasn't that bad. First and foremost, anybody that's been in an altercation, everybody responds to trauma, stress reactors differently. I can tell you from experience that if I'm under duress and something happens immediately in my face that causes me to have some type of reaction, my first instinct is to laugh. My first instinct is like, okay.
But did he throw it? But
now we're going.
Do you laugh like this?
Did he laugh?
Okay.
Did he laugh?
Okay. Or do you go
Some people do.
like that?
Some people do. Everybody's response is different, brother. We're all different people. We have different ways of responding. My point is, none of us were in that moment. right there and looked at him. That camera didn't stay on Will Smith long enough to see if he even looked at Jada. We never seen Will look at Jada. We seen Will look, laugh. We then seen it cut to Jada, which we then seen it cut to Chris. So under no circumstances do we know, you and I, or Mikey know, that Will looked at Jada and Jada was like, go get that nigga. Nobody knows that because the reaction time, by the time it cut back to Chris, Will was already halfway on the stage. So that means that was a hell of a reaction time for Will to be like,
I don't know if he was halfway on the stage. I don't know if he was halfway on the
he
stage.
Was about a solid six,
he was talking.
He was about 6-7 strides away.
He was talking, and then he's like, because he was like, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
A solid 6-7 strides away from that stage.
Okay.
He wasn't far. It didn't take him
TJ,
very long.
TJ, given the timing of events that you're talking about and allowing for people to respond to stress differently, I kind of understand where you're coming from. But then that leads me to my.
I'm not done. Point. Oh, I'm not done yet. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Finish.
There's even more. So now we take into consideration that Will Smith and Jada Pinkett-Smith have been the butt of every person's joke for the last 18 to 24 months. The last 18 to 24 months has ended with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett-Smith in the public eye under immense scrutiny for their love life, for the way they raise their children, for the things that go on between them two, everything that ain't got nothing to do with nobody else other than Will and Jada, they have been under scrutiny for, most particularly Will. Now, does he have a, oh, you got the clip, go ahead and play it. Hit play.
Check the volume.
Jada, I love you. G.I Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I'm out here.
Here he comes. And he was already there. Smack, walked off the stage. That was 7 to 8 seconds. 7 to 8 seconds. 7 to 8 seconds.
Question.
Answer.
Why doesn't Jada say not now, baby, and keep him out of this situation?
Okay, so how many times I just finished talking about the fact that they've been under immense scrutiny for the last 18 to 24 months, right?
And who's doing is that?
Regardless of who's doing it,
come on, man.
This family. Listen, Will Smith in particular has been under immense scrutiny for the last 18 to 24 months. The last 18 to 24 months, as a man as a black man in America, who I have to imagine you've been under scrutiny for marrying somebody that's not black. And you love her to death.
Facts.
You love her to death.
Facts.
So in no way that you can tell me that if somebody says something that you even deem as disrespectful in front of you about your wife, that you're not going to go address that. Now, granted, you may choose not to smack somebody.
But
you may choose not to smack somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
But TJ, has my wife openly talked about my deficiencies and inequities and things on public forums for years? Has my wife openly talked about who the love of her life is, and he is deceased, and she still pines for his person? Has my wife been out, whether on a break or not, and been with someone else, and then take it to the public forum to talk about said entanglement? If all of those things have happened, man, you make a joke about her hair, I'm like this. We're going to talk. We're definitely going to talk. But people talk about him protecting her. And I think that's the angle you're talking about, protecting your woman. I understand that. However, she has not expressed interest in protecting him ever at all.
What's that got to do with anything?
It has a lot to do with it.
And that's but see,
because here's the
that's
thing.
true.
Hold on. Here's the thing. It has a lot to do with it. Because guess what? If my woman has been doing those things to me and we're still together, and there's a joke not about any of those things, but about a condition, I'm not taking it as serious as if my wife has been holding me down and been there for me. Because she has let him twist and turn and been a facilitator of said embarrassment over and over and over again.
Okay.
So you know, I'm sorry. There might be a little pause there. I might see him backstage, but
okay. You done?
Well, also
Before I
of
continue,
course
I
there is the you know, right or wrong, we are viewed as a monolith. And when you see the supposed best of us out there doing stuff like that, there are a lot of people who are going to be like, that's validation for their bigotry. And I know, we don't care about that.
All right.
But we have to think about that. Go ahead,
ready?
TJ.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So before, just to touch base on what you just said with the words that just came out your mouth, why is it that we have to continuously hold ourselves back from responding to triggers that if white people have these triggers, they're free to fly off the handle. And it's no different than them telling us that when we get pulled over, well, if you just act calm, if you just act okay, then they have no reason to hold their gun. Why is it that we have to be the ones that are always self-controlled all the time? That's first and foremost. Now, to get back to Jada and what she's done, what happened between Jada and Will, and what Jada decided to talk about with Will, and what Will decided to forgive or not forgive is between Jada and Will. We have no idea what conversation that they've had, but we have no idea what conversation that they've had behind the scenes. What we do know is that Will Smith is still married to Jada Pinkett-Smith. What we do know is that for whatever kind of marriage that they are still rocking together. And if Will Smith is still with her, Will Smith's job as her husband is to protect her from all forms and threats, That's his job. And if Will Smith has been sitting there taking heat for all the stuff that's been going on for the last 18 to 24 months, in Will Smith's mind, Chris Rock saying what Chris Rock said was the straw that broke the camel's back, and he was like, I'm done. Not another person's going to get off on saying whatever they want to say about myself, my wife, without me responding. Will Smith has been known to put hands on people. Will Smith smacked the reporter, was it 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah. I've seen that.
He touched him up.
Smacked the reporter in the face. So this ain't new stuff for the Fresh Prince. But that's exactly what he said. What is wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
Point is, he made the decision to stay married to Jada Pinkett-Smith. Whether we agree with it, whether you would have done it or not, whether it would have caused you to pause or not, Will Smith's job is first and foremost still to protect his wife. Above all else.
But the roots of the shit that he's been taking trace right back to that woman.
No doubt.
The roots of the issue, the shit he's been taking, transfers right back to her. She is the root. So he should be handling that. He should be handling that. I'm here right now. I'm in this position right now because of the things that you have been the protagonist for.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So this is a leaf that is on a branch that goes down to the root, which is you.
No doubt.
You know,
nothing that you're saying is incorrect.
Here's the thing too, as we talk about it. If this root was not in existence and Chris Rock makes that joke, he's not on that stage.
You might be absolutely right. But let's not take away the fact that, once again, everybody has a comment or suggestion or an idea or what should be, and everybody's an expert on their marriage. Everybody's an expert on their marriage and what they do with each other, without each other, in front of people, behind the scenes. Everybody has a comment. And after a certain point in time, we realize that we are not living in a digital age where everybody feels like they can comment on everything at any given time. And the difference is, most of the time, people get to do it on the internet and there's no repercussions. Most of the time, you get to hide behind your little Twitter fingers and say what you want to say, not realizing that you're going to have real world consequences to deal with because you don't see the other person. This time, the troll was seen, and this time the troll was addressed immediately. You don't get to sit behind your avatar and say what you want to say anymore. But now you get to be addressed.
But here's the thing is that if the joke had been about August, if it had been about that's why your girl's still in love with Tupac, if the joke had been along the veins of the crap that he's been the subject of criticism for, or the subject of scrutiny and things like that, I would have understood it more. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have smacked Chris. I'm saying that there's a time and a place. regardless
So
of what we're viewed as,
Mhm.
of whether a monolith or whatever, there's a time and place. When you're out in your Sunday best, et cetera, no matter what the viewpoint is, the perspective is, then if you have something, you know, we're I don't care. And see, we talk about who is allowed to fly off the handle. We're supposed to be civilized people. We're supposed to be emotionally intelligent people. And if we're emotionally intelligent, civilized people, you sit there, you look at them, and say, "I'm gonna see you after."
Objection.
Are you
Your
talking
Honor.
about black folks? Or you
Objection.
talking about people in general?
I'm talking about
Objection.
people in general.
Objection, Your
Okay,
Honor.
but people in general haven't
I have
shown to
seen-
be. People in general haven't shown to be.
I have seen the prosecutor, Your Honor. I have seen him singing a song by Toby and Wigway, and it goes by "Try Jesus."
Yeah.
Don't he tried Jesus? He better try Jesus.
No, he didn't
Chris
come up.
Rock.
He didn't. That's what I'm
better
saying.
try Jesus,
To try
Chris Rock.
Jesus, in my view,
Don't
try Jesus is speaking to August was like saying that's why August was blowing your girl back out. That's try Jesus. Okay. He might have tried the Holy Spirit, but he didn't try Jesus.
He didn't kill the man. He slapped the man. Let's start off there.
He didn't kill him. He slapped him. And let's be all the way 100. This is Ali. He's Ali. So if he wanted to let Chris Rock out, Chris Rock would have been laid out.
Oh, of course. We
Clearly,
know.
All he wanted to do was make it very clear: keep my wife's name out of your mouth.
Now he could have done that in many different ways.
He could have, absolutely. He could have defended her in whatever way Will Smith, as her husband, chose to defend her.
So
that's the way he chose to defend her. How you defend your wife is how you defend your wife.
Your thing is,
I would have slapped the fire out of somebody.
You would have slapped him right then and there.
I'd have slapped the hell out of him.
When it comes to my wife, I do not play. I do not play.
I don't play
either. I don't play either.
You asked me, so now I'm telling you. You asked me, so now I'm telling you. I've had somebody that knew my wife before I knew my wife.
Right.
Knew my wife way before I was even in the picture. Know my wife and made a comment to the effect of, you know, if I'd have been single at the right time, I would have tried to marry her. And I said, so how do you want me to respond? Do you want me to respond as an employee with you right now, or do you want me to respond as I take my name badge off? Because one way or the other, we need to have a conversation about that. That's not a conversation for you and I to have. I don't care what she was to you, when she was, what she was to you.
Right.
I am her husband now. So that's not something that ever needs to come out your mouth again. Period.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
And then there was a comment that some random, and this one wasn't bad, but they could see where it was going to start to go had it got bad. But there was one comment that a trucker had made because they used to see my wife run in and out of the warehouse trying to get something. And he's like, what happened to that one light-skinned girl that used to run up and through here all the time unless she ran track or something? And so I'm just listening. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. You know, I'm new to the area. I'm like, I don't know who you talking about, bro. You know, but I have an idea. And the person next to me knows exactly who he's talking about. And so then the person likes me. Oh yeah, that's his wife. Yeah. You might not want to say too much more.
Right.
And I was like,
right.
He saved them for that. So my point is, people, we live in this day and age where we feel like everybody's attacked, right? And especially African Americans, especially Black people. We're attacked constantly from all different sides. From Black people too, we're attacked constantly.
Yep.
At some point in time, somebody has to stand up and say enough. It has to be enough. There has to be enough. We understand. First and foremost, you know how Black women feel about their hair. We know how Black women feel about their hair. And everybody can sit there and play this game about Jada. And everybody can sit there and play this game about Jada and know that Jada Pinkett was going through whatever she was going through with their hair. She's made it very public knowledge.
Yes, she has.
Yes, she has.
And that is something I mitigated as well.
She has made it very public knowledge that this is not something that she takes lightly, that it hurts her and bothers her to her core.
Right.
So now, if your wife has made something known, go ahead.
I did not know that piece until my wife told me.
Okay.
And so when she let me know about that, and I'm like, it's public, and she's talked about it. Now she didn't make note of how public Jada was about how seriously it hurt her. She didn't say that. She just said she's talked about it publicly. So I didn't know. This is new. Once again, I'm talking about new information.
Absolutely.
So I did not know that she had talked about the depths to which this condition was affecting her.
Yeah.
I did not know that. So now, TJ John Stone, knowing that she has talked seriously about this is really something that really bothers me and affects me deeply, and knowing as a black man how black women feel about their hair.
Didn't Chris Rock put out a documentary called
I see
Hair?
where you're coming from. Oh yeah, Chris Rock had a documentary called Good Hair.
About all about
100% true.
little black girls and their hair. And
So
this is where the frustration comes,
Mikey. That's another tidbit.
He knows.
That's another tidbit.
Man.
He knows about that. See, because to be honest, when I first heard the joke, I, being a little bit ignorant, number one, I didn't know she had the condition. Number two, I'm thinking there is a G.I Jane movie because I don't know that she has a condition. I'm like, there must be a sequel coming out.
Here we go.
Right?
Ooh, G.I Jane 2.
I'm like, G.I Jane 2 with Jada Pinkett-Smith? Okay.
Did you do the thing with the shoulder too? What is with the
like, oh, shit. So then my wife's like, no, stupid. There's no movie. That was the joke. And I was like, oh, shit. And then she's like, and she has a condition that's making her hair fall out. That's not something she did willingly. I was like, oh, okay. So now, knowing that Chris Rock, who has made a documentary about good hair and black hair and the importance, I know that. He should have known better. You reminded me of that, Mikey. TJ, knowing that she has spoken about the depths to which she is sensitive to this condition, now my mind changes. And now I come around to your way of thinking.
That's not funny.
Let's add even more context to it. So Chris Rock has made jokes at Jada Pinkett's expense about the Oscars before. I think he made a joke because Jada
not
Pinkett
saying that they weren't going, and then she's like, no, he was like, nobody invited you anyway, or something like that.
Yeah, like so they have a history of this banter, and I think for me, and me personally, I take protecting the women in my life very serious, and I don't know if it's because I've seen, very similar to Will. I don't say that I feel like a coward, but I understand where he came from because I've seen my dad put his hands on my mother. And I was young, and I didn't.
Domestic violence in my house. I was
15, 16 years old, and I didn't know how to really handle that. I didn't know how to process that at 15, 16 years old, watching my father hit my mother and put her down. So I made it very, very much my mission to defend every woman in my life to the death.
I feel you.
Everybody knows that I do not play about four things. I don't play about God. I don't play about my mama. I don't play about my daughter, and I dang sure don't play about my wife. I do not play about the women in my life. So with that being said, even my ex-wife has gone on to say, since we've been divorced, and we've been divorced for years, and we all actually got together and went to a Universal Studio one day, but even she said that she still feels like I would throw down for her if something happened. Now,
I would throw down for my ex-wife too.
Now,
we don't get along at all. We don't get along at all. But I have in the past, when my ex-wife was in a new relationship and something was happening and I was on the phone like, do I need to come over there?
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't mess with her like that.
Not even
Mikey
a little
knows I speak to her as minimally as possible. But that is still the mother of my children.
Of my child, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
She will always be the mother of my child.
I don't want to see her come to harm. Right. I definitely don't want to see anything going on in front of my children and things like that, because part of the reason I'm not with her is so that there's an opportunity for solid relationships to be seen in the household.
Yes. Amen.
So I was like, guess what?
If
I need to come over there, I'm coming over there.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
And I'm not gonna feel bad about it.
I agree with you on that. I definitely, protecting the women in your life and the women in your circles is a definite priority. Yes.
And so look, could Will Smith have handled that differently? Absolutely.
Yes, of
There's
course.
100 different ways. There's 100 different ways somebody could have handled something. No doubt about it. I think what we did, and I've seen enough therapy sessions with men. I've seen enough of those to understand there was something else behind that slap.
Oh yes,
it was not.
That was not
just. It was
not just Chris Rock. No,
it was not just. Chris
there was a
Rock.
lot.
What it was
That's why we were talking about pre-show. We were talking about layers.
Yes.
Oh, it's
yes,
many layers that led up to
There's
that.
a lot of
smack.
layers
Yes.
to this. There's
yes.
the August Alsina. There's the constant scrutiny for what
Yep. There's the
what
history of
their
Chris
marriage
talking
looks
about
like.
them.
History of Chris talking about them. History
Everything.
of people having
Everybody
comments
judging
about.
One of them
Everybody
fingers on that
judging.
smack. One of them fingers on that smack was definitely
Yeah.
Jada putting him through all this stuff.
Absolutely. One of those was Jada. Absolutely, no doubt. But
Kids
I guess
running in
my
all
point is saying that
directions. Don't listen to
kids
shit.
running doing whatever they want to do. Willow whipping her hair back and forth,
Yep.
and you know what? There's
Got
Little man
Jada,
talking about
dating
flying
whoever
my
he want to
guy.
date, and however he feels about that.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
there was a
There's
lot.
so
There
much
was a
other
lot
layers.
there.
And what really needs the discussion that really needs to be had is we need to start talking to black men about mental health.
Yes.
We really need to start having conversations about black men and mental health and how much scrutiny that they're under, even their own communities, to even talk about that kind of stuff. We are not typically allowed to have those kind of conversations growing up where we grew up at. You know, I grew up in Chicago. I grew up in Bellwood, Hillside.
Right.
We're not
You
allowed
don't
to
talk
talk
about
about those
that.
kind of things. We don't talk about that Bellwood, maybe. You don't talk about that kind of stuff. That's not what you discuss. You know,
And
suck
if
it up.
if you are in therapy or going to therapy as
soft.
a Bellwoodian or Chicagoan or whatever, you ain't telling nobody.
You soft.
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
You're not telling nobody.
You're not mentioning it to anybody.
Hey,
Nobody
where was you
knows
going?
that.
Oh, I had a parole meeting.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
anything.
You know, I gotta check
other
in
than-
with the PO.
Yeah, I'll tell you anything
right.
rather than
Like
I had
the month.
I had an AA meeting, dude. You know,
So at some point in time, we need to start having those kind of discussions as well. So I guess to sum this up, and fellas, I appreciate y'all letting me hop on and hijack your show like I'm the host of Voice from the Underground again.
Hey.
I apologize,
Yo, the Silky
but I was
Throat
passionate
speaks.
about this.
Hey, and TJ, this conversation goes to show this is how conversations should go.
Yeah.
Where people with differing views can talk, and based on new information, people can change their opinion.
Yeah.
And so far, a lot of times that doesn't happen. The new information is just walled off instead of taking into account and taking into the context of the situation or the view. And I thank you and Mikey for helping me, because Mikey reminded me of something that should have said, hey, Chris knows better than this off top, because he knows the culture of hair in the black community.
Lamar says she did it on her table talk. Chris didn't know on TMZ.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
I know
Chris
and
might
I
know.
don't watch the table talk,
Yeah.
he knows.
Right.
I
He
know.
knew. He knew, but there was one comment.
I watched one Red Table Talk, one.
There was one
And
comment
I
that
know
came
their
across
whole lives.
on the bottom that I don't disagree with it, and that's why as
What was the comment?
man,
What was the
I have
comment?
a hard time. The comment was from the Trustee 8 podcast. A slap is a slap, of violence should always be our last resort, in my opinion. I don't disagree with you. I really don't, and that's why again we talk about layers with this. There are absolutely layers to this. I think if I'm Will Smith, I'm coming from a place where, again, as we discussed earlier, there's everything I do is on the screen. And if you listen to his acceptance speech for the Oscar for King Richard, which I know we were joking about, we didn't know, it was for his portrayal of Richard in King Richard.
Richard Williams.
But Richard Williams, right, Venus and Serena's father. But in his acceptance speech, he talked about the fact that as to do what they do, to do what they love, they have to be under constant scrutiny. They have to be under constant pressure all the time. Everybody's wondering what they're doing. Everybody's up in their business about what they do, how they do, when they do, where they do. They are constantly scrutinized to the utmost point. And we understand a lot of us don't have empathy or sympathy for that because you made the decision to be in the public eye. So you know what comes with that. It does not change the fact that he is still a man, a human being with feelings at the end of the day that has to find a way to deal with those feelings.
And I think, TJ, you just hit on something there that I was thinking about too. Part of that smack is his manhood has been criticized and undermined.
You embarrassed me in front of everybody.
To such a point where
he has to respond.
He had the opportunity. Instead of having to read about it and read about the criticism and hear about the criticism, he had an opportunity where he felt like, number one, his woman was disrespected, and number two, his manhood was being threatened in his face.
Yes.
He had the opportunity to speak to that.
Yes.
I'm gonna talk about your wife. I'm gonna talk about your wife right in front of you.
That
manhood. Yep. And that's it perfectly, bro. That's it perfectly.
I think you're right. I think
you can't do that to him.
There's so many layers, and he had a chance to reclaim some manhood right then and there.
Some of this right here, right now.
That leads me to another thing. This conspiracy theory going around.
Here we go.
Okay. So there's a conspiracy theory, and bear with me. I'm gonna talk about it. There's a conspiracy theory that
here we go.
The smack was staged. Okay.
There is
and wait.
Bear with me.
Because Chris Rock, he says, uh-oh, and he kind of puts his hands behind his back and kind of leans in. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna spell that real quick.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and absolutely. And I get how people would say that. Here's why I would say incorrect. One, comedians are used to being up on stage, and this is the entertainment awards, right? This is the Oscars. No comedian that's ever been up on stage is one that ever expected to get hit, right? And that's just playing in the juke clubs or wherever they playing. They've never really worried about turning around any type of violence because it's a comedy.
Sometimes it happens though. I've seen some video of people running up on stage because they get
a lot of people don't worry about it. A lot of people don't worry about it, right? And they still make the jokes that they joke. So Chris Rock is on the grandest stage of them all, if you will. He's at the Oscar. He's hosting the Oscars. There's no way Chris Rock even remotely thinks that there's a chance that somebody's going to get up and assault him.
Yeah. I think he thought that maybe
there's just no way that he even think that that's really going to happen. So
I think that
he thought that Wilson would probably play along with it, would maybe throw a fake jab or something. He thought that in my opinion, he might have thought that Wilson was coming up there to do something funny or to make a little fake act like he's going to do something to not really hit him. And that's why he was kind of like, oh, okay, all right, it's coming. Something's happening.
And another counterpoint to my own conspiracy theory playing devil's advocate on my own shit is he may have thought that Will was coming up to whisper, I'm going to see you in his ear, maybe, or say something in his ear.
He may have. But
here came the smack.
And here came the smack, heard around the world. And here's also another reason why I say this was not staged. Chris was shook.
Oh, yes. Yes. He was definitely shook. I knew that.
He didn't know what to say, how to say, where to say. He didn't know what award. He didn't know what he was doing. He was like, we here to talk about documentary. I mean, yeah, but even Puffy came out and said some crap. I've seen other reports that said they haven't spoken. So I know what Puffy said. I've seen the reports that they squashed it after the after
Will
party.
And Chris?
I've seen reports that say that is absolutely not true and that they have not spoken since this happened. Which
he
you don't
said
know.
That they were going to resolve it. But I don't think that. I think that next time they see each other, it's going to have to be a fight.
Well, I think so this is twofold. I think next time they see each other, Chris has to respond. Because in front of it, I like Mikey. I see what you did there. Because now Chris has to respond because he just got smacked on national television in front of everybody, and
that's
now he
all
looks
everybody's
like
going to talk about.
And that's all anybody's going to talk about, right? But the bottom line is this: we have to start understanding that there are only so much that people are willing to take. Everybody has a level that they're willing to accept from people. Some people, they can take gallons and gallons of crap before something explodes over. Some people, they can't take as much, but we have to realize that everybody has a limit. And that you can't keep pushing and can't keep pushing and can't keep poking and can't keep poking at this man, at his family, at his children, at his wife, at his marriage, at his masculinity, at his ability to provide for his family. You can't keep assaulting a man. And then when the man finally retaliates, or when the man finally has enough, oh my goodness, what happened? Because everybody's saying that he could have handled that differently. And could he have handled it differently?
Yes, of course. But he did not. Could he have said something to him publicly? Absolutely. Could he have said something to him out then and there? Absolutely, he could have. But then everybody would be looking at him saying he could have saved that for behind the scenes. He didn't have to do that in front of everybody. But his wife and his manhood was disrespected in front of everybody. So if my wife and my manhood and everything that I have is disrespected in front of everybody, then my retaliation should be in front of everybody. It's not for us to have behind the scenes so nobody knows exactly what happened. You're going to disrespect me. You're going to say what you want to say in front of everybody. So you best be prepared for my response in front of each and everybody. You don't get to just get away from this scot-free. So we you know something, we talk about that too. We talk about how like in sports or in entertainment, when someone
They have
is
to be the
being
bigger people.
accused
Yeah.
of something, it's all on the front page.
It's all on front
But
page.
then when the charges are dropped, or the person that is accusing them recants, or the
It's on
allegations
page
are proven
9.
false,
Yeah.
page 9, or it's a small
Yeah.
blurb, or it's just in the crawl
Yep.
of the TV show, not in breaking news, you know.
Yeah.
So,
And I think it, just like COVID exposed a lot of the problems with this country, this points out that we don't take good enough care of each other as
right.
a Black community.
That's right.
You didn't even
That's
know
right.
about Jada?
I did
And
not.
you thought, no, him.
No,
I'm
not
talking
you.
about
I'm
him.
talking about like Chris. Yeah.
Chris, you didn't know about Jada? You don't check on sis, see how she doing?
Yeah.
Not every day, every weekend, but hell, every couple of years.
You should know.
At all?
Yeah.
If y'all, because I mean,
that's the thing. We don't check on nobody.
They've been
Hold on, Haas, hold on.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Everybody doing their own thing and trying to get their bag and secure their group. And where's the fucking teamwork? Where's the fucking camaraderie? Because of that, well, we're not going to go anywhere. We're not going to go. It's like, y'all already don't understand that you're 13% of the population.
Yeah.
And then you cut that in half. So now the Black women are on this little 5-6%, and the men are on their 5-6%, and everybody want to do their own thing. You don't get nowhere like that.
Right.
And Chris to do so much advocacy work for Black women, you didn't know, bro.
Yeah.
You resting on your laurels, bro.
Yeah, exactly. You misunderstood the assignment.
Yeah.
And you know shit is tight over in that house right now.
Yes.
Exactly.
And you fucked it, like, bro, you double fucked it up.
Yeah.
And now
they can't be the butt of every joke all the time.
And then now everybody like, oh, see, you're protecting him like you protected Kanye. Like, Kanye is sick. Like, y'all keep joking about Kanye. Kanye is sick.
He's sick, and that has nothing to do with it. It's not even close to the same.
And Will is pissed.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be a teammate.
Yes.
And here you go dunking on me.
Hey,
it's like, what is happening right now?
The great Dave Chappelle said it best. We Black actors, man, we supposed to stick together.
Black actors.
You know, Black actors, man.
Well, fellas, man, I appreciate y'all letting me come on here and speak my piece. I seen Haas was putting up on the book, and I was like, okay, all right.
You know, he got memes for days.
Oh man,
like,
all right,
you know, the internet has no chill. The internet has.
I'm over here like, don't respond, TJ, don't respond, and I'm just looking at it. I'm like, okay, all right, okay, because as a husband, as a protector, I felt that whole smack for Will. I felt that in my soul. I said, I understand exactly where he came from.
And if you heard it, in the microphone too. It was like.
And what makes it fun is everybody keeps thinking it was staged. That was quick. Like that one, no, he didn't pull that slap.
He did not.
He slapped the fire at him.
He might have tore trapezius muscle with that smack.
I know that Chris Rock didn't rub his face, but you could tell Chris Rock was shook. Boy.
He was like this.
It wasn't hurting yet. That's when you know it's a good smack. It takes about 35, 45 seconds.
His cheek was tingling. His cheek was tingling.
It comes in with the blood. It just starts creeping.
You know, he ain't had no beard buffer or nothing. He didn't have nothing on there.
Nothing. Look, I think to sum this up, guys, and I really appreciate you guys. I think to sum this up, we have to do two things. One, we have to be better about protecting each other.
Yeah.
First and foremost, we have to be better about protecting each other, and two, we have to be better about checking in on our brothers and sisters.
Yep.
It'd be the strong ones, bro. It'd be the ones that seem like they got it all together. That the smallest thing could set it off. And like I said, like we all discussed, the slap wasn't just about what Chris Rock said.
Oh no, I never thought that.
Not even close.
Not even close. You can't.
But it doesn't make it
okay.
okay. Yeah, it doesn't make it okay for Chris Rock to take another blow. It's not okay. Now, obviously, yeah, he could have handled it differently. But there comes a point in time where sometimes you just got to get slapped. Somebody got to get slapped, and that was it. That was it. And I got screaming kids. I gotta go.
All right,
but man, I love y'all, and look,
love y'all too.
Y'all done got my juices flowing, man. I might have to get back on here with y'all a little more often. Now. That's twice in 2 weeks.
Come on through.
Excellent.
You know, You got a standing ovation. You got a standing invitation, brother. So come on through.
You got both.
Man, I appreciate y'all boys, man.
Thank you. Appreciate the information. I'm about to go on Facebook and tell them I'm gonna tell them they gotta get on the stream. They gotta get on the recording.
Tag your boy.
To see the talk.
10 seconds. Since this is a really short video, feel free to record your own response, send it into the show. That's at Dig on America on pretty much all social media, or just drop it in the description, a link to it or something like that. All right, y'all, we're out of here. We'll see you. Y'all be greasy.
Peace.